We always talk about the money, follow the money. Well, the Trump administration is moving to dismantle a landmark federal program that has supported minority and women-owned businesses for more than 4 decades. This could have major consequences for black entrepreneurs and the people that work for them. The Department of Justice has filed a proposed settlement to end the $37 billion Disadvantaged Business Enterprise Program. It allocates at least 10% of federal transportation funding to firms owned by historically marginalized groups. The move comes after 2 white-owned Indiana construction companies sued the Department of Transportation in 2023, arguing that their DBE program was unconstitutional and amounted to discrimination against non-minority businesses. Now, mind you, 90% of the $700 billion in federal contract goes to white people. And of the minority and women business enterprises, white women get 78% of that. No shock, Donald Trump administration sided with the white plaintiffs, stating that the program's race and gender-based requirements, quote, can no longer pass constitutional scrutiny in light of recent Supreme Court decisions, which is actually bullshit. If a federal judge approves the settlement, the DBE program would be permanently dismantled, putting at risk the livelihoods of 49,000 minority and women-owned businesses that rely on these contracts to grow and compete in the $759 billion transportation sector. Matt, this is why this is bullshit. They are trying to take the Supreme Court decision regarding race and admissions applied to everything. That's bullshit, Matt. The Supreme Court is on record as laying out the parameters of affirmative action in contracting in previous decisions. So this college admissions ruling should have no bearing on the other programs, which the Supreme Court has already established precedent. Now, they can always overturn that precedent, but to say that the college admissions Supreme Court decision now impacts every other is a lie.
Which is exactly why they're framing it this way, to try to extend or modify the law. There's a rule in the federal rules of civil procedure that says you can try to modify existing law in certain circumstances, and that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to engraft that upon any issue where there is a racial component to it, or they think there's an affirmative action component to it, and they're trying to take that logic and attack every single thing, a la Edward Blum, which we know he's doing and others behind that movement are doing. And I have really 3 thoughts on this. The first is, I had a conversation this week. I didn't realize that she had said this, but Nicole Hannah-Jones apparently said something I think very profound that's appropriate here. She said, what you're seeing is you're seeing the language of civil rights obviously being co-opted by white plaintiffs trying to turn things on their head. And that's exactly right, because if you look at this complaint, in this complaint, they cited that, quote, disfavored groups are being disadvantaged by, quote, preferred racial groups. It's crazy that they would frame it that way because they're calling the white people here disfavored. But just like you said, the imbalance is so egregious. I mean, 90% of that $7 billion is going towards white firms, then it stands to reason that is de facto the favored group. So to use that language is to turn it on its head and to try to extend that law. But the other thing about it that's bogus is that the Trump administration is apparently on record in this court filing saying that this was patently unconstitutional. Now, Roland, every day of the week, they file some asinine lawsuit that is patently unconstitutional, or really, he files an executive order that on its face is unconstitutional. We're seeing the courts continue to say they're doing things unconstitutional, and they're talking out the other side of their head this time when they say that this is unconstitutional, and that's why they're ending the program. So there's not only cognitive dissonance, but there is flat out dishonesty because they choose to do things that are unconstitutional when it's ideologically consistent with what they want to do. And otherwise, they're trying to beat the drum the other way. And you cannot have that.
Michael, you remember this bullshit right here? The Platinum Plan. Opportunity. By achieving historic employment levels for Black Americans as well as increasing access to capital for new businesses, Trump has been committed to ensuring all Black Americans can achieve the American dream. Remember, he claimed 3 million new jobs, creating 500,000 new black-owned businesses, increase access to capital in black communities by almost 500 billion, blah, 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 blah. All the black economic empowerment and access to capital. Oh, I'm gonna do all of these things, and this, that, and the other. And oh, look at this here. Oh my goodness, fueling access to capital for black-owned businesses. Oh, look at this here. He said, make the Minority Business Development Agency permanent. Appoint its leader to the Assistant Secretary of Commerce level. Create a sub-office of African American Affairs and engage with private sector advisors to ensure real-world plans and solutions. Oh, look at this here. Increase the number of black-owned contracting businesses, financial services entities, and private equity investment funds through regulatory reform and up to $40 billion in government funding alongside traditional private investment. Oh, that was all of the things that he was sitting here touting that he was going to be doing. And boy, look at this right here. He said he was going to seek infrastructure funding that will lead to widespread growth in the annual $500 billion federal contracting opportunities. Look at this here. Grow minority-owned businesses with additional tax cuts to stimulate hiring and investment. We said it then. And then all these Negroes, Ice Cube, he met with the Trump people and y'all diss Cube. What did I say to Ice Cube? They full of shit, Cube. Don't buy the bullshit, Cube. They lying. We said that. We called it out. And all these little Negroes, and I'm going to talk about some of them, the help. I call them the help. And that's right. I'm talking about you, Michaela Montgomery. I'm talking about you, Sharice Lane. I'm talking about you, Pastor Darrell Scott. I'm talking about David Harris. I'm talking about King Randall. I'm talking about Joseph Pinion. I'm talking about Terrence Williams. All you Simple Simon Negroes who were at the White House Black History Month reception, y'all just skinning and grinning. Y'all just happy to be in the house, thinking y'all doing boots on the ground when they were sitting here tap dancing on your goddamn heads.
Roland, I call that the Fool's Gold Plan. We talked about this on your show, October 2020. That's when I made my first appearance. I've been on your show for 5 years. I call that the Fool's Gold Plan. Donald Trump basically didn't do any of that stuff in his first term in office. Keep in mind, he had 4 years to do all that. He basically did none of that. And he just signed an executive order at the end of March 2025 to kill the Minority Business Development Agency that he promised in the bullshit platinum plan that he was going to make permanent. Okay. And when you look at the conversation that we just had with Naomi, you look at that Supreme Court ruling, 2023 Supreme Court ruling that struck down affirmative action in college admissions. They're using this as one of the tools to gut all these programs that were partially beneficial for African Americans. Whether we talk about the $37 billion program, the Disadvantaged Business Enterprise program, okay, and then you saw on the Platinum Plan, he talked about an infrastructure bill. Every other week was infrastructure week in the first Trump administration. He could not get an infrastructure bill passed. But you know who got one pushed through? Biden-Harris, $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill. And this $37 billion is distributed. It's distributed in that $1.2 trillion infrastructure bill. So when you go through, and I encourage all the people that you just named, Google, how have the policies of the Biden-Harris administration helped the Black community? One of the documents that comes up is about a 36-page document that takes you through all these. The fastest growth of Black-owned businesses in the last 30 years happened under the Biden-Harris administration. When you look at the also $10 billion in government contracts, okay, in 2023, $10 billion in government contracts went to African-American owned businesses. Now, even though that was only about 1.7% of all government contracts, that's a record amount. We didn't get that under the Trump administration.
But see, again, their whole deal here, Melinda, is to shut it all down. And I ain't sitting here saying where the fans at. I'm saying where the FBA at, where the B1 at, where all y'all Negroes. Come on, here's what I want to know. Philip Scott, Jason Black, Come on.
You
Vicky
can't
Dillon.
on them to help.
Vicky Dillon. Come on. Come on. What's the other boy with little documentaries? I forgot his little name. All y'all, all them Negroes. Your vote ain't gonna do nothing. It ain't gonna do nothing. It ain't gonna achieve nothing. Really? And these are hold up. Where you punk ass at, Boyce Watkins? All y'all ran y'all miles. Y'all was shitting on Kamala, shitting on Biden. Y'all was sitting there, all of y'all nonsense. And we told y'all, voting has an impact. And so, and then y'all run so I love the same Negroes. Yeah, I'm specifically, because see, normally I don't even say nothing about his sorry, trifling ass. But I'm going to go ahead and say it. All this bullshit, Boyce Watkins, after Trump inauguration, we need to focus on black-owned businesses, building black-owned businesses, supporting black-owned businesses. Well, please tell me this. If your ass can't get access to federal contracts and your ass can't get state contracts, then they're going to target county contracts, then they're going to target city contracts and school district contracts. What your ass going to get? Oh, I'm sorry, because when they also shut down DEI, now you can't get corporate. So let me, I just want to know, all of y'all support black-owned businesses, Negroes, who shitted on Harris and saying, damn her, and you, well, I ain't say vote for Trump, but that's what you were saying indirectly. I just want to know, if to shut down this program, forget the contracts. So again, we're seeing loss of contracts in corporate, loss of contracts in federal. Republicans are controlling the red states where black people are. So what do you think they're going to do next in Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, Tennessee, South Carolina? Republicans control North Carolina legislature. What do you think is going to happen in Arkansas? What do you think? So that's all I'm trying to understand. But we would call Shields. We would call Kiss up to the Democratic Party. See, all you so-called wannabe fake-ass radicals, super-duper revolutionaries, here's what I want to know. Every black person can't sell incense. Every black person can't have a T-shirt business. Every black person can't sit here. So I just want to know, what businesses do y'all think black people can actually create? And here's the reality that nobody wants to own up. The United States economy is a $30 trillion economy. Black people do not have enough money to solely fund black people.
Right.
It's just a fact. If black spending power is 1.6 trillion, and if we know that most Americans are spending half of their income on housing, boom, 1.6 is now cut to 800 billion. So we ain't got the food, we ain't got the clothes, we ain't got to any of that stuff as well. So the point I'm saying is, you cannot grow a black business sector if you're only serving one community. And when you're getting X'd out, and now we're talking engineering firms, architecture firms, now we're talking about contracts with DOD, now we're talking about contracts with every federal government agency. Please tell me what's going to happen. But we were Shields. We were sitting here, we were on the plantation. We were sitting here kissing up to Kamala. All this shit has happened, and we ain't even hit the 6-month mark of this white supremacist administration.
Well, there are a couple things I want to respond to. First, Michael, I do love that you did point out how Trump did not do anything in those 4 years in regards to the Platinum Plan. And that's also the excuse that people used for Kamala, but they didn't give her the chance when she wasn't even president in the first place. So I do love that you pointed that out. But I think that this is a clear move to obviously block Black people specifically, but also women and minorities from just achieving any form of economic success.
Yeah.
It's just a way to strip away the support that we need to level the playing field, because they don't want us to level the playing field. They want to gaslight us to make it seem like we don't have enough money, we don't have the infrastructure, we don't have the good businesses.
Sustain.
Wait for them to continue to control us. And the reality is that we've had generations of exclusion and discrimination that have kept us from allowing our Black businesses to succeed. And that's exactly why they are getting rid of this help, because they don't want us to surpass them in any way. They don't want us to achieve any form of success.
Do all y'all on the show, do y'all remember? Let me just go ahead and pull this up because I think a lot of people just seem to forget. So just in case anybody is sitting here saying, I don't know about all that role. Just go to my iPad. See, if y'all go right now to YouTube and type in Roland Martin defund Black America, you are going to see these are the segments that we did. We've done thus far where I said Trump wants to defund Black America. Oh, I laid it all out. I'm sorry. What is this right here? Oh, this is called White Fear, how the browning of America is making white folks lose their minds. Everything in this book I've been saying since 2009. The book was published in 2022. You can get it on Audible as well. Oh, I'm sorry. What was I saying in this book? They're going to be attacking every single economic program that Black people have been able to participate in. Oh, and let me be real clear. I'm not saying those programs have been amazing, have been great, have been wonderful. My point is they actually exist. Last point I'll make before I go to break. This is also for you Simple Simon some bitches out there who was sitting here talking all this shit, calling all this out. We all saying, well, see, all that stuff, that ain't got down to the brother and the sister in the hood. That's also a lie. Because you know what? When you own a Black-owned business, you're likely going to be employing Black people. That means somebody not only is a VP or a COO, a salesperson, they also might be an assistant or a receptionist. That means that they now have a job and they are also funding other family members. It also means that, well, where else are you going to go? Oh, those same Black-owned businesses are funding Black institutions. Those same Black-owned businesses are creating economic opportunities and funding HBCUs. They are tithing in churches. They are supporting Black organizations. Oh, I'm not talking just about the Divine Nine. I'm not talking just about Alpha and AKA and Delta and Omega and Kappa and all the Divine Nine. I'm not talking just about Prince Hall Mason. I'm not talking just about the Links or Jack and Jill or the top ladies of distinction. See, all y'all punk ass, the Black boule. Y'all don't know shit about Black people. Y'all don't know shit about how Black people, how things are funded in the Black community. And the underpinning of the Black middle class and the Black lower class has literally been access to contracts. On top of that, it has been access to jobs in government, federal government, state government, city government, county government, school district government. So what then happens when you begin to whack those particular jobs? What begins to happen when you whack those jobs? Oh, I'm sorry. They start getting laid off. Oh, I'm sorry. What then happens? Their kids now can't go to school. What then happens? They now have to file for unemployment insurance because they don't have a job. And we're seeing that right now. So it's called the downstream effect, the downstream impact of all of these different things. And all y'all Simple Simons. Oh, I remember Umar saying that vote ain't going to get you nothing. Really? Okay. Gotcha. All y'all, all them people y'all listen to, all running their mouths, feeding the algorithm, feeding on Instagram and TikTok and Twitter and Facebook and YouTube, and y'all sitting there going, see, you a sellout. Say, yeah, you a sellout. You a sellout. And we told y'all asses this was going to happen.
Dive into the magical world of Edwina's Bedtime Adventures by Ariel Williams. Join Edwina, the little hippo with a big imagination, as she drifts off to sleep and embarks on whimsical bedtime journeys. Whether she's saving the day as a brave firefighter, caring for patients as a nurse at Sunny Valley Hospital, or exploring the wonders of the jungle, Edwina's heartwarming tales will capture the imagination of young readers and spark endless bedtime giggles. This is an electronic book. You'll need an EPUB reader or PDF reader to enjoy this whimsical tale. Get your copy today at lulubooks.com or follow the link tree in profile to get your copy and let the adventure begin.
Gas Station Diaries by Adam King is a compelling collection of fictional stories drawn from the author's experiences working at a gas station during the tumultuous year of 2020. Set in the unassuming locale of Rainbow Land, the narrative unfolds in a place where time seems to stand still, yet unexpected drama and human encounters abound. This is an electronic book. You must upload an EPUB reader or a PDF reader to enjoy this book. Get your copy today at luloybooks.com and let the story unfold.
The Baker and the Handyman's Sweet Connection. In a quaint village nestled in a picturesque valley, there stood a small house in the shape of a mushroom. This whimsical home belonged to a young boy named Jamie, barely out of high school, who had a passion for baking. Inside, his cozy kitchen was always filled with the sweet aroma of cakes, cookies, and all sorts of delightful treats. What made his creation special was that each of his cakes was shaped like tiny mushrooms, a nod to his quirky home. Jamie's baking became the talk of the town. From birthdays to celebrations, everyone in the village adored his sweets.
Get your digital copy today at lulubooks.com and experience the adventure in EPUB or PDF format. Make sure you have a compatible reader to dive into this unforgettable journey. Don't miss out, unlock the secrets, and let the story begin.
Sable's Song, A Siren's Journey to Joy. Once upon a time, in a small, worn-out town in Middle America, there lived a little child named Sable. Worn into poverty, Sable's body was frail, so thin that you could see her bones, but her heart was filled with an exuberance that not even hunger could dull. Sable was awkward, with dark, deep-set eyes that sparkled with innocence and wonder. Despite being born a boy, Sable always knew she was different. Inside her lived a girl, bright and effervescent, waiting to bloom.
Get your digital copy today at lulubooks.com and experience the adventure in EPUB or PDF format. Make sure you have a compatible reader to dive into this unforgettable journey. Don't miss out, unlock the secrets, and let the story begin.
The Park of Secrets.
In the year 2060, near the heart of Florida, just a stone's throw from Disney World, stood a theme park unlike any other, a place known as the House of Secrets. It was a magical park, much like a state fair, filled with towering rides, carnival games, and parades that drew people from all over the world. But among the grand Ferris wheel and the colorful day parade, there was one attraction that outshined them all, the Parade Princess, a mesmerizing mermaid named Kenya. Kenya was a sight to behold. At 22 years old, fresh out of college, she had the kind of beauty that drew people to her like moths to a flame. Her brown skin glowed under the park lights, her hair a stunning mix of purple and pink that cascaded over her shoulders. Little pink hearts adorned her cheeks, and a ribbon of color stretched across her nose. But it wasn't just her beauty that made her special. Her eyes, big and almond-shaped, seemed to capture the hearts of everyone who saw.
Discover the magic of the Park of Secrets. Step into a world of wonder with the Park of Secrets, a heartwarming tale by Ariel Williams that will captivate your imagination. This enchanting story is now available exclusively on Lulu Books.
The Future, Daughters of Liberty, A New Dawn. In 2040, the United States was a fractured nation, still reeling from the fallout of Project 2025, the catastrophic policy that had allowed a resurgence of systemic oppression. The Deep South had seceded once more, forming the antebellum republic, where human trafficking, racial inequality, and gender oppression became tragically normalized. The Second Civil War erupted as the rest of the nation sought to free those trapped in this dystopian regime. After years of bloodshed, Kamala Harris had finally led the Union to victory, restoring a fragile sense of hope. But the battle scars ran deep, especially in places like Louisiana, where the remnants of a broken society still lingered.
Get your digital copy today at lulubooks.com and experience the adventure in EPUB or PDF format. Make sure you have a compatible reader to dive into this unforgettable journey. Don't miss out, unlock the secrets, and let the story begin.
A Dying Planet, The Last Harvest.
In the year 2060, Earth is a shadow of its former self. choked by pollution, endless concrete, and abandoned by nature. Only a small fishing village by the sea has managed to preserve the planet's last untouched forest. In this dying world, June and Win, two young girls and the last children in their village, cling to the remnants of hope and innocence. Win roams the forest, collecting the season's last harvest, while June sings songs that echo with a haunting beauty through the village.
Get your digital copy today at lulubooks.com and experience the adventure in EPUB or PDF format. Make sure you have a compatible reader to dive into this unforgettable journey. Don't miss out, unlock the secrets, and let the story begin.
I told you. What did I tell you? Didn't I tell you? 'Cause I told you. And when did I tell you? A long time ago. And what did I say will happen when I told you? Exactly what just happened.